Hello, hello, everybody. Happy March 13th. I can't believe we're already halfway through the month. And I know that we're in full spring because my allergies are absolutely killing me. So give me a hand raise if you are also suffering from allergies. This week, we're doing a quick live session about making connections on social media. I will be focusing on LinkedIn, but I want you to know that the same theories apply to all social media platforms. So anytime you reach out to anybody in their inbox or on any social, the same theories apply. This is also the third part of a continuation. So if you missed the last 2 weeks of March, we covered during the first week, we covered LinkedIn strategy. It was all about the platform. We covered how to make the best first impressions and how to create a headline. That's point number 4 that you see here that attracts your ideal clients. So go back to my LinkedIn, make sure you're checking that out. It was a full hour session about how to make your LinkedIn pop and attract your ideal clients. The week before, so last week, we talked in depth about content strategy. And I talked a little bit more about how to identify your audience, how to reach them through this quote unquote wall when you're new to sharing content, and how the 5 steps that you're seeing here, how I turn my long form content into 5 different types of content so that I'm never feeling burned out. Like I have to keep creating new content. So this week, I'm excited to say we're talking about growing connections. And again, I just want to reiterate that the theory I'm going to talk about here, focusing on LinkedIn, works for all social media platforms. So let's dive in. There is, believe it or not, a right and a wrong way to connect with people on social media. And unfortunately, I see the wrong way happen all the time. So it's not just with LinkedIn, but like any social media platform, your network gives you access to clients and you probably aren't even aware. Your network actually does 2 things for you. Actually does 3 things for you. Number 1, it signals to the algorithm on any social platforms that your profile is worth highlighting. So the more active you are, the more actively you're participating, the more connections you have, the more the algorithms are going to be like, "Oh, this is a person worth noting." And they're going to start sending more traffic your way. The second thing that's even more important that it does is your network gives you access to something called the hidden job market. So here's the deal. Not all clients who are looking for virtual assistants advertise that they're looking for VAs online. Sometimes they're just thinking to themselves, I need a VA and I don't know where to find this person. Your network provides a hidden access to those people. Referrals are still one of the best ways that VAs get clients. It is so true. It's not advertising, it's not paid advertising, it's not marketing yourself, it's your network of other VAs. Imagine that you strike up a rapport, a friendship, an authentic conversation with another virtual assistant where you guys are both sharing what it is that you do, what kind of services you offer, how much you are charging, where you live, what kind of clients you work with. The more you can have these conversations with other virtual assistants, the more likely they are to refer clients to you. I can tell you that over the 12 years I've been doing this, a lot of my clients have come from other VAs, and I've also given clients to other VAs. And that's because if I know, like, if a client comes to me and is like, I need a VA, these are the services I'm looking for. If I don't have time to take them on, if I don't have room in my Rolodex to take them on, like I'm fully maxed out on my hours, or if they're looking for services that I don't offer, I will go to the VAs in my network that I know are either looking for work or I know offer those services. And I'll be like, hey, I've got this client. I can't or don't want them, but I think that's a great opportunity for you. Can I connect you guys? So, a hidden job market is one of the best things about growing your network because referrals are still king in this job market. So, if you're currently not spending any time on LinkedIn or on other social platforms, meaningfully connecting with other virtual assistants, you're potentially missing out on this hidden job market and missing out on referrals. And again, that's a huge part of our job as a VA. So there is a right and a wrong way to connect specifically with people on LinkedIn as you're looking at this picture. The wrong way is that most people simply send a message you hit the connect button and LinkedIn automatically sends a message that's like, please, I want to add you to my professional network. That is wrong. That is the worst possible thing you can do. It tells you nothing. It tells the person that you want to connect with nothing about you. It tells them you have, like, given them no indication for why you wanna connect, why it's a relevant connection. They're more likely to deny your connection if they're like, "Okay, I don't know this person at all." So, the right way to do it is to give a little context. It can either be, "Hey, I met you in person at this, so and so event," or "I met you at this virtual event," or more likely for us as remote VAs, connection requests will be like, "Hey, I saw on your LinkedIn profile that you're a virtual assistant and these are the services you offer. I also offer these services," or "I'm a VA too and I offer completely different services." How crazy is that? So that's how you start. It can be as simple as that. But that's how you start a simple rapport, to start those conversations, to let people in your connections list know what it is that you do, because down the line, those can absolutely lead to referrals. So we're going to talk a little more in depth about client strategies, how to find clients, and first tip of all, if there's one takeaway of this, it is that your network is probably the strongest thing you can invest in. But the second thing we can do is, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but LinkedIn can help you get really specific in your job searches online. So the search bar functions a lot like Google. The more specific you can be in the search bar, the better. So I'm just showing you right here for an example. I'm pretending that I'm looking for a job, not a client, but a job, a company that is hiring contractors or VAs full time. So I've typed in the keyword that I'm searching for, which is virtual assistant. You can see that up in the corner here. And I've also indicated the country of origin that I want to work in. So you don't have to do the United States. If you want to work in different with clients in different countries or with companies in different countries, you'll search specifically to your country. You'll also notice in the green highlights under virtual assistant that I'm specifically looking for jobs that are remote. I don't want to go into an office. So LinkedIn has these awesome, and there's other levels, by the way, that I haven't even delved into. You can see experience level, it can be entry level, it can be expert, I can do it by salary, how much they're paying. I can filter by all sorts of things to help me focus and narrow down on the jobs that I'm specifically looking for. And you'll see here that with even just two filters of remote jobs, there's a whole bunch of part-time and full-time companies that are looking to hire virtual assistants. So this is just one thing that you can do. If you are struggling with connecting with clients on your own, like you're a virtual assistant who's tried marketing on your own, you feel like you're sharing information about your company, your business, and it's going nowhere, I do recommend checking out LinkedIn's job search feature and applying that way. Now, a caveat about applications on job features: this is a numbers game, people. There are usually so many people applying for these jobs, and these companies usually have applicant tracking software that's called ATS. ATS, what it does is it looks for your resume and it looks for keywords. So the AI is essentially just matching keywords from your resume or your cover letter to the job listing. So if you're just randomly clicking apply to all these jobs without looking at the specifics or without including some of their keywords in their job description into your resume, the chances are that the ATS, that AI, is going to trash your resume. So I do want you to just know that if this job search is the route you're going to try, it's a numbers game. You need to be tailoring your application to each job. And do not be discouraged if you apply to 100 jobs and you hear back from one person. Again, it's not necessarily a reflection on you. It is usually that the ATS software is separating you out. And if that's the reason, it's usually because your application verbiage, the keywords are not matched up enough with the keywords in their job description. So easy way to fix that is, before you apply to one of these positions, look at the keywords, look at the description of the job, look at the duties, look at the core services that they're looking for, and include that verbiage into your resume. That gives you a highly likelihood that the ATS will not throw your resume away. Something else you can do, is called a Boolean search. All that Boolean is just a fancy schmancy word for including terms like and or. So I give you this example because this really helps you tailor searching for clients who specifically fit your ideal client. So I'm pretending that I want to work with a sales manager in tech. If I were to simply type in the keywords sales manager tech, I would get a wide variety of results that maybe don't necessarily fit for the type of client that I'm really looking for. So by including keywords like it really zeroes in and basically focuses and only pulls up titles that include all of those keywords. So if I know that I wanna work as a sales VA with sales managers specifically in tech, I would include so you can see this example here, this Tyler Brown comes up. He's a sales manager at this tech company, Okta. So if I wanted to try to connect with him, what I would do is send him a relevant message like we saw in the first slide, where I would say something like, "Hey, Tyler, I'm a VA, I work in sales, and I specifically love working with tech startups. Saw your title come up, knew that we had to connect, would love to hear more about your job." Just throwing that off the top of my head, but you wanna give people a relevant message for why you're reaching out to them. The other thing you can do, which is my favorite way to search for job opportunities on LinkedIn, is keyword and full sentences. So I gave the example here, I'm hiring a freelance writer. I more often than not go into LinkedIn and will type in full phrases like I'm hiring a virtual assistant or I am looking for a virtual assistant. And you can see here when I typed in the keywords by I'm hiring a freelance assistant, this person popped up. It was in 1 day of posting his job search, and he says, I'm looking for a content writer with basic understanding of finances. If that described me, I would absolutely comment on this person's post, and then I would follow up with a direct message, a DM, explaining in greater detail the services that I offer, why I'm reaching out, AKA you saw the listing that they put on LinkedIn, and how you would like to get on the phone with this person to talk about their job opportunity. So let's dive further deeper into the do's and the don'ts because I see this all the time on LinkedIn. Let's look at the don't side of the column first. Using the same example of this person who's looking for a content writer with financial domain interest. I can't even, I just had a, my brain is gone. Anyway, if I were to reach out to this person, look at the left side of the column where most people just say, I'm interested. Or kiss of death, man, when people say, check out my profile or send me a message on WhatsApp. If you guys are currently doing this, if these are the messages that you're leaving on LinkedIn currently, I want you to stop. Don't feel bad because the vast majority of people do this, but it's rare to almost never going to help you connect with a client. And here's why. Number one, we are freelancers, we're VAs. We are supposed to be helping our clients make their lives easier. And if you simply say something like, I'm interested, or check out my profile, or send me an email, it's that kind of verbiage that requires the client to do extra work. If I were a client hiring a VA and they were like, "Hey, go check out my profile," I would automatically be like, "Nope, not hiring this person because I'm busy." The reason I'm looking for a VA is because I'm exceptionally busy. I need someone to take the burden of work off my plate. So if a potential VA is already causing me to do more research and more work, I am automatically going to kick them off my list of potential VAs. So again, if you're the person who's simply saying, I'm interested, or here's my number, or check out my website, do not do that. This person is not going to take the time to check out your information. On the flip side, under the do column, if you see a job listing on LinkedIn that you are interested in, what I would do is send them a detailed message in the comments on the post. That way they don't have to go searching for anything crazy. Our first step was always to write on the post itself. So you can see my example here. If I were applying to work with this person, I would say, hey, I'm Erin, a content writer with X number of years of experience. I'm going to send you a DM with more details. Looking forward to speaking with you. So once you give them a basics of why you're reaching out, why it's a relevant connection, then you say, I'm going to follow it up with a more detailed DM. Then what we do is we go into their DMs. As the kids say, we slide into the DMs. We want this to be specific, relevant, and the real reason that we're doing a DM is because we actually want to get them on the phone. Job offers rarely, if ever, happen over messages. That's because real people want to know that they are working with real people. And it's very hard to get a sense for people's personality or work history over email. So once you have sent somebody in the comments, hey, this is relevant, this is what I do, I'm going to send you a message, we immediately follow that comment up with a message into their inbox that says, hey, it's me again. I am responding to your job posting. These are the services I offer. I've looked at your profile. That's the thing. You want to reiterate why you're a great fit. And it's not just about you, it has to be relevant to the client. So you actually want to be looking at the client's social media. You actually want to look at the client's LinkedIn profile. You actually want to look at their website if they have one or a company that they work for. And then you want to make it relevant to them. So you'd say something like, I'm a VA, I'm responding to your job post. These are the services that I offer, which are a perfect fit for you because I was looking at your LinkedIn profile and I see you do XYZ. I can help with that. You just want to find 1 to 2 sentences that you can reiterate about why you're a great fit for them. Then, if it is applicable, you can say, here's a link to my website if you want to see more details about my work or a link to my portfolio. But the real cherry on the ice cream sundae of this message is that you want to get them on the phone. So I would suggest, and what I usually do to try to keep momentum going is instead of simply saying, can we get on the phone or when can we get on a call? I will throw out some dates, usually a week in advance, that work for me. And I'll say something like, I'm free next Tuesday and Thursday between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. If you have time within those windows, let's get on a call and talk more about your goals and your needs. So, again, you don't want to leave it necessarily hanging. You don't want to leave that ball in your potential client's court, so to speak. You want to make sure you're being proactive and offering a time, really encouraging them to choose a time and a date where you guys can talk on the phone. Oh, I'm so glad I had that. That's the only thing I had for you guys today. But I cannot reiterate enough how important it is to connect with people the right way. In fact, Gwen, I'm so happy that you joined today. I'm throwing your comment up here because it's so relevant. Generic messages are like spam. That is absolutely true. And I'm so happy that you worded it that way. How many people get messages on LinkedIn that feel spammy because the person messaging you clearly hasn't looked at your profile, or they're simply like, I'm a VA. These are all the services I do. You should hire me. You're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, slow your roll. Like, we've not even ever met before. You're a stranger. You don't know what I need in my business. You've clearly not looked at my profile." So, generic messages are spam. Generic is out and detailed is in. And if there's one thing that I want you guys who are viewing live today to come away with, it is this slide. Screenshot it if you have to. Do not just simply say to a client who's listing things like, I'm interested in hiring a virtual assistant. Absolutely do not just say, I'm interested or here's my website. That is a kiss of death. 4,000 other people are also going to be spamming this comment with the same, I'm interested. So your client is going to be overwhelmed. They're already going to have 1 million notifications about other people who only said, I'm interested. So if you really want to stand out of the crowd as a VA, you need to send a comment that makes sense, that is relevant to the job listing, get into their inbox with another relevant message, and then try to get them on the phone. That is your three-piece step. That is the correct way to try to get a client. And again, I want to reiterate that this works across any social media platform. The reason that I'm focusing on LinkedIn is because LinkedIn is business to business. Usually, people are more actively seeking virtual assistants on LinkedIn. But any social media is great. If you see a Facebook comment about someone hiring or an Instagram post where someone's like, I need a clone of me, never, ever, ever say, I'm interested. I can do this. I'm a VA. You want to get really detailed and make it tailored to the person as much as you can. So that's the only thing I have for you guys today. And just a reminder, there are 2 other parts to this entire presentation. So if you go to my LinkedIn, sorry, nope. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see the past 2 weeks I have live sessions that are about the rest of this presentation, and it goes through content strategy. It goes through making your LinkedIn profile stand out a little more. It's a really good. The whole thing is really helpful, and I think if you guys were to go through it, it would help your LinkedIn profiles as well, and hopefully lead to some clients for you guys because that is the end goal. I love this comment, Gwen. I absolutely love this comment because I agree, and I think people don't take the time to really understand what it is that people. So, in the same way, um, in my LinkedIn profile, I my title is currently LinkedIn coach, and so sorry guys, I really blame my allergies for how my brain is just kind of brain dead today. I have in my title virtual assistant coach. I cannot tell you how many messages I get on LinkedIn where people are like, "I'm a virtual assistant. Here are the services. Do you want to hire me?" I'm like, "Well, I'm also a virtual assistant, so no." But it just goes to show that people don't really take the time to look at your profile. So, if you are able to tailor your message even a smidgen more than anybody else, you're already ahead of the curve because most people are spamming. Most people are sending like 2,000 generic messages a day in the hopes of getting a client. So I'm just going to tell you again, that's a waste of your time. If you're joining late, I am sorry to say we are already wrapping up. But when I hit the end stream, watch the full replay because I go through great details about how you can connect with people meaningfully, how you can pitch clients meaningfully, and hopefully close the deal and not just waste your time and not waste their time. Does anybody have any questions either about this short presentation or about your virtual assistant business so far? What are you guys struggling with? Or does anyone want to share any wins? You've got me for a few more minutes. May as well share some wins. While I'm waiting for comments to come in, I'll share a win with you guys. Um, I hit a fun milestone with my own virtual assistant training program. It's called the Virtual Assistant Business Blueprint. A company out of the UK has hired me to use that program to teach their VAs that they hire at their company, which is really cool. So I'm just feeling very excited to have the chance to train more VAs on skills. That program, by the way, that's available on my website, erinbooth.com. It goes through the training. It goes through everything that you need to start a virtual assistant business with clarity, with confidence, to connect with clients the right way, to pitch them, how to pitch people. There's different ways to pitch people. So it's a great program, and the entire basis of it takes about 12 weeks. It's really in depth, but the whole basis of the program is to not only help you get set up, but to help you find clients, grow your business, and make income shortly after launching. Okay, I see a good question coming in here. How do you deal with rude clients? I am so sorry that you are dealing with rude people. It is one of the most heartbreaking things I think can happen because sometimes clients think that we are just nameless robots behind a keyboard and they forget that we're human beings with emotions. I'm terribly sorry this happened to you. Without knowing more context, there are a few things that you could do. Number one, if you're comfortable with this, you could write them an email that reiterates some of your boundaries or concerns. You could keep it simple and just even say something like, you know, I'm feeling upset about the way that you're speaking to me or the tone of your voice. If that feels a little scary, which I totally understand, even as I'm saying that, I'm like, I probably wouldn't send that. So, what I would probably do is suggest that you get on a video chat or a phone call. Video chat preferred. So, if you have a FaceTime, a WhatsApp, a Zoom, anything where they can see your face, I find that clients are less rude when they realize that they're talking to a human being. So if you can get on a video chat with them and have a conversation and just say, "Hey, just wanted to check in with you. Is everything okay? Is there anything you want to talk about specifically? Is everything going okay with the work I'm presenting to you?" That can be helpful just sometimes to remind them that you are in fact a real person. And sometimes if they're extra rude, this is gonna sound insane. I had a really rude, mean client once, and I kept her for years because she paid, like, a chunk of my income. So I had given myself, 2 goals. One was to replace her income with somebody new who was much nicer. So I started actively looking for new clients so I could replace her. That was step number 1 for sure. Step number 2 is because we tried to have conversations, I tried video chats, she remained fairly rude to me. Um, what I did was I turned it into a game, and I said, "Every time this woman is rude to me, I'm going to put $1 in a jar." Kinda like a swear jar, but it was like a rude jar, a rude client jar. So every time she did something terrible that made me feel terrible, I put $1 in the jar, and then at the end of the week, I would treat myself to something like a coffee or a sandwich or a pizza or just some kind of little treat like a chocolate because however much money was in there, I'd be like, "Well, thanks, Jillian, for treating me to a coffee." That was enough of a game to get me through the few weeks that it took me to find a client to replace her. And let me tell you what, when I finally found a client to replace her income and I dropped her, I gave her my 2-week notice. She was shocked. She was shocked and she was upset that I was firing her. And we did end up having a conversation at the end. And she wanted to know why I was leaving. And all I said, because I knew usually I don't tell clients the truth because I need to keep, possibilities for referrals open. But this woman was so particularly horrendous. I just said, it was a work mismatch, personality mismatch, and I wished her the best of luck. She never answered my email, and that was A-okay with me. So that was the only one of the no, I've had 2 times where I've purposely not kept that dialogue open. I call it burning a bridge. That woman was so horrible that that bridge had to be burned. So I don't know if that helps, but, I am sorry that you're dealing with that, and I do hope you're able to replace that person as soon as you can because there's one thing I want you all to remember is that when you drop a bad client, and a bad client can be a bad client for you for a variety of reasons, but when you drop them, you are opening up time, space, and emotional space for a better, happier, more respectful client. So when I dropped that bad client, I'm now happy to say that it's been like 6 years, and I've been working ever since with a duo, a CEO, COO duo. They're the nicest, most wonderful people, and I could not have taken them on had I not fired that bad client. All right, this is a good one. How do you handle a jealous client? Wow, I cannot believe he doesn't want me to look for another client even if it's part-time. That is a definition of a bad client. Ooh, I hate this. I hate this for you, and I'm sorry that you're dealing with it. So the way I categorize bad clients is that bad clients will typically try to treat virtual assistants as full time employees without benefits, without health insurance, without paying you like a full time employee. So, this person, you can tell them to suck it. I'm just kidding. Don't ever tell your client to suck it. You can mentally think that, or you can swear at them. But here's the thing, you are a business owner. You're not just an assistant. All virtual assistants are business owners because you are in charge of your own finances, your own marketing, your own business, your own client acquisition. You are a business owner. So if somebody is saying, I don't want you to work with someone else, y- cool. It's nice to want things, but that's not the reality. That would be like this person going to a gym and being like, I'm really upset that other people use this gym. I want this to be my personal gym. The gym would be like, get the hell out of here. So I again understand if maybe this is your only client for the time being. You don't even have to tell this person that you're taking on other clients. Like don't tell them, it's none of their business. He can assume whatever he wants. If you are able to make him feel like your only client because you're so attentive and you respond to emails so quickly, that's great. So I would say don't mention to him that you're looking for other clients, just look for other clients. It stinks because I usually like to say when you have clients, ask them for referrals. I say to them like I'm growing my business, I'm looking for more people. Do you have anyone in your network? And it stinks because it sounds like you cannot ask this person. But I recommend Beverly, if you've come in late, watch this replay because it has some tips about how to find other clients on LinkedIn. If I were you, I would be looking to replace this person flat out. But if you cannot replace them at this point, it is none of his business how and where you grow your clientele. And somebody else, Will has a really great comment that I could not agree with more. Exclusivity should come at a higher price point. Maybe if you wanna throw this back into your client's face, he'll probably not take it well, but if you were to be like, "All right, I'll be your only VA for $50,000 a year," he'll probably balk at that and walk back kinda quickly. It's almost like calling a bully out. But Will, that's a great comment. Could not agree with you more. The only downside about asking clients to be your only client is that, it doesn't come really with any protections. So if you're not gonna be a full-time employee, you're gonna be a freelancer with exclusivity to one client, they could drop you at any time, and then you're starting from ground zero. So, I would say none of that guy's business if you are looking for other people. That's crazy. That's crazy. But that I would say that's the definition of a bad client. Bad clients who think they can treat you like an employee without hiring you like one, or don't want to share your services, or expect you to be on call 24/7, or expect you to be working late nights or weekends. Those are entitled clients who need an email where you are resetting your boundaries. And that could be a casual email where you're like, "Hey, so and so, just a reminder, my hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I'll respond to you as soon as I can during those working hours. If you send me a request after hours, I'll get to it the next business day." Any sort of boundary reiteration is okay and is normal. I will tell you a story. I had a client named Michael for we were together about 7 years, who constantly somehow forgot that I was not working on weekends. I don't know how. But, like, every month for 7 years, I would send him a reminder email just being like, "Hey, just reiterating my hours. This is how I work. This is how I operate." And he would always just be like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot." So, he was always pretty chill about it, but he did need those reminders. So, don't be afraid to send email reminders to your clients if need be from time to time, reiterating how you work, your work hours, your boundaries, etc., etc. You guys have great questions. I'm so glad that you're asking these. And yeah, if anybody else has any questions, please send them in now. I have a few more seconds. I've held you already for a few more minutes after the half an hour slot, so I do apologize for that. But I'm always happy to talk to you guys on these Wednesdays. I really look forward to them. So just a reminder, not seeing any more comments come in. If you are late, catch the replay. I talk about how to meaningfully connect with potential clients on LinkedIn. It is applicable to all social media platforms. Also, this is the third part of a three-part LinkedIn presentation. So on my YouTube channel, go back and make sure you're looking through we go through how to make a headline that attracts your clients. We go through how to write your profile out so that it's virtual assistant forward. We go through how to make meaningful connections. And we have a whole presentation on how to share content on LinkedIn that speaks to your audience, brings them to your profile, and helps you create lots of different content without burning out. Cool. I really appreciate you guys joining me today, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. I don't yet know the topic, so it'll be a fun surprise. And if you guys have any questions about your own virtual assistant business, or comments or stories you want to share, I really appreciate Will coming up here with a great comment. If you guys have any comments for other VAs as well, join me next Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm here every week to answer questions, tell stories, commiserate with you guys, share some tips. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.